And done. So glad to finally finish this video. I'm gonna go for a drive. I'm back from my 23-month road trip. Did you miss me? Don't worry, the next video you're gonna see from me is an hour and a half long. I am dead serious. Stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it. What's going on, guys? Vectrex for Life here, back again with another video. Man, does it feel refreshing to say that. And I have returned from my 23-month road trip. All jokes aside, I am glad to say that I am returning to YouTube. I'm not going to go on any more unannounced hiatuses anymore. I'm going to try to actually get a consistent uploading schedule. As far as what that schedule is going to look like, I don't know yet. I'm just going to be putting out videos that are done because I actually do have some videos that are done. It's just that the main meat and potatoes, the main video that I've been working on for literally like 20 months is almost done. So that's the next video you're going to see from me, and that's what's going to be an hour and a half long. Anyway, before we get to that, I feel like I just gotta address, where the hell I've been and what has happened since I last uploaded. What was it, September 1st, 2018? I never thought I was gonna be gone for that long. It doesn't even feel like I've been gone for that long, because I'm on YouTube every day. I'm still reading the comments, and believe me, there have been a lot of great comments. I've just been working on a video since December 2018. Not December 2019, 2018. And I thought, oh, I'm going to be done with this in a few months. And what do you know? It's been about like 20 months since then. So what the hell is happening? Where have I been? Well, obviously the first thing we could talk about is but I don't think we really want to talk about that now, do we? People come to YouTube to get away from So I'm not really going to spend much time talking about it, but I feel like I have to. Basically, it didn't affect me at all until March 2020. For those who don't know, and probably most of you don't know, I transferred from a community college to San Diego State University, and I'm majoring in film, television, and new media. I want to be an editor. That's what I've always been drawn to as a video and film maker. I just love editing. Sit me down on a computer, give me some interesting footage, and I'll just spend hours with it. And it's a blast. I've been a full-time student at San Diego State since fall 2019, and things were going great until they decided to shut down classes. And this was in March 2020, when the virus hadn't really even hit San Diego yet. There was only like 1 or 2 cases. So at the time I thought, this is crazy, everyone's overreacting, we're gonna get under control, but obviously we haven't, and they did the right thing. So they shut down all the in-person classes. They made everything virtual, which means all those really fun Zoom meetings that everybody loves. No. I was taking 2 production classes, studio production, which is a 3-camera multicam setup in a set, basically, filming really short scenes from sitcoms and stuff, going through a script, blocking everything, and then calling your cameras live. That's what we did, and I loved it. I loved that class. And I was also in an editing class, which was great too. But they shut down the classes. So what happened is that the professors basically just did the best they could to still give us a quality education while we were at home, while everyone was at home. The most upsetting thing, though, was that one professor did just straight up did not try at all. She looked at Zoom meetings and she was like, yeah, that's not going to work. I'm not going to do that. Our education just stopped. It's completely done. And of course, nobody got tuition refunds. The only kind of refunds we got were for parking. But technically, our education continued. So it is what it is. Going forward, I'm still going to attend San Diego State. I want to keep doing my production classes. But, you know, with the way things are going, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that in person. They are planning on it. Planning on the essential classes that have to be done in person, because film and television and new media, that's a hands-on major. You can't interact with equipment that is so out of your reach. You know, you can't interact with that stuff at home. You can't work together with people in quarantine. You know, it just doesn't work. That's why on these talk shows, you know, it's the late show from home. And it's just a guy talking to a camera, just like YouTube, huh? Those Hollywood personnel are finally getting a taste of what us YouTubers have been doing for years and have been doing better for years. Not me, but, you know, people that upload every day with news content from home, talking to a camera. They're doing it better. But anyway, so the semester's over. And as far as it affecting me personally, it hasn't really affected me that much, honestly. I'm an introvert. I work best alone. Sit me down in front of a computer, give me something to do, I'll be good for hours on end. It hasn't really bothered me that much, which is kind of surprising to say. You know, we've been at this for a while now. Of course, my lights are going to shut off eventually. It's okay, though. I just changed the battery in my car. Give me that, please. Thank you. I know the lighting's not great in here, but it's going to have to make do. This is what I got time to make videos. Oh, okay. And so let's talk about what I've been working on. I've been working on this video that is an hour and a half long since December 2018. I never thought it was going to take that long to make, but here we are. And I'm basically done with it. It's almost ready to go. And I said to myself many months ago, I said, I'm not going to come back to YouTube until I finish this video, because it's weird, because I felt like I needed to come back with a bang. But I also need to inform you guys what's going on with the channel, because it's been so long. So that's why I'm making this. So yes, after this video, I'm going to upload that hour and a half video, and then many more uploads are to come, because I have a lot of videos that are already finished, that are ready to go. So what is this video? Well, it is actually my very first Eurobeat nonstop mix. And this is a mix that, dare I say, is the first of its kind. Nothing has been done like this before, at least on this scale. As you know, I'm more of a video type guy, not music type guy, so I tried to present this mix in the best possible way I could. I didn't make this mix only to have the video portion just be a still image that you're staring at for an hour and a half. Like, yeah, the music is the focus of the mix, and it should be, absolutely, but I just wanted to go a step further and try something different. So on screen, you're going to see my timeline of exactly where I made my cuts. You're going to see a whole bunch of information about the song itself, a picture of the person who's actually singing it, because everybody in Eurobeat uses an alias and you don't know who the hell they are half the time. So I'm going to do that, basically showing statistics about each song and my timeline as the mix goes through. And my timeline is actually very important, because as far as audio goes, this is also perhaps the first mix of its kind, because there is just so much packed into it. To give you an idea of how different this mix is, it starts with a live concert. I'm serious. There's very few Eurobeat live concerts that are actually available to watch on YouTube. This is not a mix that explodes right from the start. It gradually builds up into the first song. Basically, I went about it like this. When I found a song that I wanted to include in the mix, I researched the hell out of it and tried to find every single official nonstop mix that song has ever been on, and then I just included stuff from those mixes and mixed them all together. So basically, I'm taking all of these awesome parts from the same song that have been mixed over the years, and I'm throwing them all together to make something that has never been done before, at least on this scale. I think I used up to like 9 differently mixed versions of the same song within the span of 2 minutes, because basically I've got 39 tracks, not 40, 39, and they're about 2.5 minutes a piece, and I think it's going to be a real treat. Whether you like the initial D Eurobeat stuff, or the more melodic ice shoe type Eurobeat, more calmer Eurobeat, or some modern Eurobeat. It's all there. It's mostly geared towards the 90s because that's what I like the most, but I did try to go for a variety. I'm including a bunch of different labels. And all this came about because I just have a huge passion for Eurobeat at this time. For probably close to a year now, I have been spending more time listening to and mixing Eurobeat than I have been playing video games. And that's kind of a big deal for me to say because I've been collecting video games, mostly retro stuff, since I was 10 years old. I'm 22 now. I've been doing it for 12 years, going to, thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets every week, just looking for anything cool to add to the collection for cheap. I still enjoy doing that stuff, but in terms of interest and free time, I'm spending a lot more of my free time with Eurobeat, and I absolutely love it. I mean, there's always new songs to discover. There's always new mixed versions of those songs to discover, which drives inspiration to me to make something cool out of that. Even if you've heard a song 100 times, I want to try to do something different with it. So I am calling this Eurobeat mix the greatest transitions mix. Not because these are the greatest transitions. I'm not declaring that these are the greatest transitions because I don't want to be fooling myself. This is my first Eurobeat mix after all. But I'm basically saying that because I spent a lot of my time crafting these transitions to try to make the best possible transitions I can. There's hardly any hard cuts. There's back and forth vocal battles. There's riff manipulation and riff battles and all sorts of cameos of other songs and samples I threw in. I really tried to go all out. With the exception of like a couple of songs, I did pretty much everything I could think of to those songs as long as it sounded good. I just wanted to try something different. I've never really considered myself a DJ, but that's just kind of what happened. My phone has hundreds of ideas for possible transitions that might work because that's kind of how my brain functions. I hear something and I get an idea and I gotta write it down because it might work. And so that's kind of how this mix went. I'm basically all in for Eurobeat, collecting it, listening to it, mixing it, everything. I prefer 90s stuff. The 90s mixes in particular, because there's just so much more of that stuff out there, and I absolutely love it. It's changed my life. It has made me a happier person, and I realize I'm speaking to people who may not like Eurobeat. It's not your taste. That's totally fine. If you don't want to check out my mix, okay, but I think you should because I spent so much time on it. Just a peek. I can't go a day without listening to a few songs. It's incredible, and the journey is not going to end anytime soon. So I am going to be coming out with more Eurobeat mixes after this. So whether you're a fan of Eurobeat or not, I hope you come by to check out the mix. It's my passion. I have spent so many hours just going through it all and just indulging in it. This music means the absolute world to me, and I hope my passion for it shows through this mix. Taking a short break to tell you how great Arrowhead water is. As if I hadn't shown Arrowhead enough in my videos. Yeah, this video is totally sponsored. Okay, so that's what I've been working on for the past, 18 months? Ridiculous. I know the big question on everybody's mind is, when is the new Forgotten Games? Well, I'm afraid to tell you, I don't know. Between now and my last video upload that was almost 2 years ago, I had been working on scripts, but I didn't really do anything with them. And here's why. My lights went out, and I just didn't have enough lighting. You can't make videos without light. As you probably know, in the Pinewood Derby episode of Forgotten Games, in the beginning of that episode, I announced that I was going to be reviewing the 6 worst forgotten racing games. As you know, that never really happened. I made videos on 3. Pinewood Derby, Hot Wired, and, of course, initially Mountain Vengeance. But after I finished Mountain Vengeance, I was just kind of burned out. It took so long to make, and I was really proud of it, and I absolutely could never have expected the responses that I got from it, which, by the way, thank you guys so much for watching initially Mountain Vengeance, because I always thought that my most popular Forgotten Games episodes were going to be the Lego games. So to see a video that I worked so hard on to reach such a broad audience, it's amazing to me. I never would have thought it would have gained over 300,000 views. It's kind of unfathomable to me. And speaking of numbers and stuff, yeah, we are close to hitting 10,000 subscribers, which is a milestone. It's taken me a lot of time. It's taken me a while to get there, but we are almost there. In terms of a special, I don't know if there's gonna be a special. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling about it. I'm in the bigger car, but I still feel like I gotta stretch out. These are my legs. So I was supposed to be making 6 reviews on the worst forgotten racing games. I only made 3 because I was kind of burned out, and then eventually I got out WTF Craigslist Ads episode 5, and then some other smaller videos, and that was it, right? Well, I had scripts that were pretty much done for more of the worst forgotten racing games, but after Mountain Vengeance, I feel like that game destroyed me so much that I just couldn't talk about anymore, because even though these other games I had planned to review, they're worse than Mountain Vengeance. They're even more flawed and broken and are more shallow in the gameplay department. They're horrible. Like, even Mountain Vengeance has some redeeming factors because you can at least mod the game to put in Eurobeat and, you know, alter the controls a little bit to make it better. But no, these games, you're stuck with them the way they are. I kind of want to talk about them, but at the same time, I just want to do something different, which is why I was working on the Eurobeat mix, right? But in terms of Forgotten Games, if I'm going to make another Forgotten Games, it's going to be on one of 2 things. The first possibility would be on a sub-series of games, and I can't tell you what it is without completely spoiling it, but it's not racing games. It's not related to racing games at all. It's just a sub-genre of games that I think is really interesting, that I've always really enjoyed. There's been a lot of interesting and straight-up bizarre releases over the years on all kinds of platforms, and I would talk about arcade and PC and console and all these things. So we'll see. That's an episode I've had in my mind for probably 2 years now. The other possibility is on one game, or 2, the sequel as well, and that is Racing Jam. For those who don't know, last summer I acquired my personal holy grail, the Racing Jam Super Deluxe machine. This thing is absolutely incredible. It has a 70-inch curved display. And this came out in 1997. The arcade world had never seen anything like it, and there's really nothing else like it since. It's my holy grail because I just fell in love with the game. I had played it on my desk. I had the board set wired up on my desk, so I made a really crude super gun setup to play it. I was twisting a little potentiometer as the steering wheel to play the game. So I didn't even have all the controls wired up, but I was still having fun because that's the only way you can play the game. It was never ported to any home console. It stayed as an arcade exclusive, and it currently does not work in MAME. Not even close to being playable in MAME, at least this particular version. It runs on the Konami Cobra hardware. So I had the chance to buy the full machine. I was helping a guy in Texas trying to fix his machine. We couldn't figure out the problem. I told him, hey, if you're ever looking to get rid of it, please let me know, because I would seriously consider buying it. And, well, here we are. I live in California, so it was kind of a big deal to get that machine from Texas to California. That's a whole nother story. It wasn't cheap, but it's a game you can't emulate. Even if you could emulate it, it wouldn't be the same as playing it on the real deal. As far as Holy Grail games that are really rare or really expensive, this was at the very top for me. So to have that is incredible. I'm incredibly thankful to have acquired that. It is the only machine known to me. I am not aware of another Super Deluxe machine that still exists. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I seriously hope I'm wrong. I hope there's a machine sitting in a warehouse somewhere that's, been sitting there for 20 years, but I don't know. I've been trying to find as much information as I can about it, and I haven't gotten very far because there's just not much out there. And so I want to do a Forgotten Games on Racing Jam, but the way I would want to do it, I just know it would take so long to make. Part of the problem is that I have like a really kind of detailed work ethic. I'm not going to put something out there unless it's right. I mean, I'm putting this out there. This is kind of half-assed, but, you know, it's necessary. I want to get particular shots, and I want to talk about everything there absolutely is to talk about the game, and it would be like over half an hour long, and it would be an awesome episode. And yeah, I'd be really proud of it at the end, but I just know it's going to take so long to make. So rather than doing that, I think I would rather make a bunch of videos on Racing Jam, mostly short ones, just talking about the game, showing gameplay. I've already got a gameplay video shot. It's really short, but it'll give you a glimpse of what the game looks like, because the internet is still wondering what this game looks like. There is no gameplay footage of this particular version online that I'm aware of. So the internet is still wondering what it looks like, and it can't play it because it doesn't work in MAME. So yeah, I just want to get footage out there. So probably after I upload my Eurobeat mix, the next video that you're going to see from me is going to be Racing Jam footage recorded from the Super Deluxe machine. And then I want to do a grand tour of the machine, show you all around it, inside and out, show you how it works, because I just think it's really interesting. It's super unique. There's nothing else like it. And then I would do a properly recorded gameplay video of it with direct capture playthrough, and then I would film all the controls. So I want to get back to making arcade playthroughs. I did one of Sunset Riders, and for the most part I was happy with how that turned out. I'm just thinking about adding commentary, which if I did commentary, that would basically turn it into a Let's Play, but I would be doing Let's Plays on games that have never been Let's Played before, or games that the internet has never seen before. And I feel like I could really, tell you about the game as opposed to just sitting quiet and, watching it play through. So if, full arcade playthroughs with commentary sounds good, let me know before you turn off the goddamn lights. So if full, properly recorded playthroughs of arcade games sounds interesting to you, with commentary added, please let me know, because they don't take very much time to make, and it's worth doing. The arcade community is kind of weird because there's not very many young guys like me that are into it, and the people that are into it don't really put their stuff out there. Like there are people that own extremely rare machines, but they don't post videos or photos of them, and they just keep them kind of locked away in their basements or garages, and only a select few people can play them. But with me, I've acquired so much knowledge about Racing Jam, and there's so much to tell about it. It's such an incredible game with so much history behind it. It's got a story, and I feel like if I don't tell it, nobody else will. Like I said, this is the only machine known to me. I'm probably not going to do a Forgotten Games or Racing Jam. It's just going to take way too long. And in terms of future Forgotten Games episodes, it's kind of up in the air, because they just take so long to make, and my interests are kind of changing. I am favoring Eurobeat over video games at the moment, so we'll see. But in terms of other videos, I want to get back to the arcade playthroughs. As I said, I have a backlog of videos where I've got like 5 or 6 that are completely edited, done, ready to go, ready to put on YouTube. So I'm going to release those, periodically. I've got a driving vlog coming. I'm just driving the Miata, talking to the camera, right? I've got some school projects I want to upload, and I know that that's not very exciting, but one video in particular I think will be rather interesting to you all. It is car related. There's a kitty. The kitty's walking over here. His name is literally Kitty. This is funny. Get my phone here. It's like 1 in the morning and he's coming out. Where'd you go? Oh, hello. How are you? He's just coming to say hi. We have a little fish pond, and he used to come by like once or twice a day and just drink our water. It's hilarious. Super friendly, super mellow. He could be approached by a pit bull and he wouldn't do anything. So I'm going to be uploading a few school projects. One in particular should be pretty interesting because it is car related, and I think it's just a really interesting location where we got to film. I put this car and I put it in a really interesting place, and I almost ran over one of my friends on purpose. So, and everything's completely real. There's no trick photography. There's no special effects. What you see is what we did. So that will be coming out now that I've got DaVinci Resolve, which is really a very impressive editing software. I'll be able to do a lot of color correcting that I wouldn't be able to do in Premiere, because Premiere is really behind on color correcting, it seems. Gameplay videos are going to be coming. The other thing I'm kind of interested in, we'll see, is live streaming. I think I would like to live stream some games here and there. I'd start out with PC, maybe stuff like Lego Racers, Trackmania, maybe even like Virtual Pool 3, which no is not that exciting, but it's a slow, chill kind of game that can give me some time to interact with the chat. And that would all be on YouTube. Let me know if live streaming is interesting to you guys. I mean, I think it would be pretty neat to live stream arcade games with direct capture, like do a full playthrough of arcade stage 1 through 3, because I've got the arcade stage 2 machines, but I know with live streaming the quality can take a dip. My internet's not the best, and it would require a lot more equipment to hook up and set up. It would require a lot of time to do that. What I wanted to do with Sunset Riders and in part Racing Gem Chapter 2 is to just show those games in the best possible quality I can. And with live streaming, that's kind of compromised, I feel like. So we'll see. What else do I need to talk about? Oh, of course. I got a new camera. I'm talking to it right now. I got a Panasonic. I think it's the HDC HS900. And it's a camcorder from like 2011 or something. So yeah, it's not new or anything. But at the time, this camcorder was like nearly $2,000 or something like that. And I just happened to walk into Goodwill one day. I saw this camcorder in a bag with a whole bunch of other stuff with 3 batteries like this, bigger ones, and a remote, and it came with the charger and all the instruction manual, everything. The person took really good care of it. And it was sitting there for $35. I looked up the model and I was like, well, it's older, but it's easily worth $35, so I grabbed it, and I'm really happy with it right now. I never really had a good dedicated camera. I went from a Nikon Coolpix, which isn't that great. Then I figured out that my Galaxy S2 was actually slightly better, so I switched to that. And then I got my Galaxy S7 here, and this was still my main phone, or main camera, until I got this. So having a dedicated camera is just great because it's got a real lens. The scene is amazing. It's also got the flip screen feature, whatever that is actually called, so I can see myself as I'm talking. So I'm really happy with it. I'm really thankful to have a camera like this. Even though it's an older model, it's still good enough for me, at least for now. So that was awesome. By the way, in terms of WTF Craigslist Ads, I'm sorry to say, but I think I'm totally done with that series. I mean, it was a fun ride, 5 episodes. I know that wasn't very much, but I think in the back of my mind, when I was making the 5th episode, I was just thinking, like, there's no way I can make a 6. I'm putting so much into this one that was just kind of the grand finale. I'm sorry to say if you really enjoyed that series. It started with just being kind of frustrated with lighting. That's what it was. That's what was frustrating. It started with looking at Craigslist ads that are funny and confusing and weird, and that's fun to talk about, but at the end of the day, they're just Craigslist ads. The kinds of ads showed up on my series. It took, like 5 minutes to make, and then I spent, dozens of hours making a video on those ads. When I thought about it, it just didn't really make sense. But that was kind of the point, to make something out of something so little and so insignificant. And, you click on an ad, and the price is just well above market value, and it's ridiculous, and it's full of mistakes, and it might even be funny, but it's so insignificant that it's just not worth my time anymore. I'm sorry to say. I want to do bigger and better things. Yeah, that series is done. Forgotten Games. It may not be done. It may be done. It may be not. I don't know yet. It's management. It's managing my time and balancing school and what else I want to do with Eurobeat. It's kind of up in the air. So it's not canceled, but I in a sense I kind of want to just do something different right now, and that's Eurobeat. Eurobeat is my focus. I'm just absolutely in love with it. Gotta talk about Patreon. Patreon is kind of dead at the moment. I haven't done anything with it. If you're one of those people that is still supporting me on there, thank you very much. As nice as it is to get paid for something you put so much time and effort into, it still feels kind of weird to me because I come from the time when people did YouTube for fun and just uploaded whatever they wanted to upload. It wasn't filled with news and late night shows and, you know, with so many channels that had millions of subscribers and clickbait shit. And I mean, the golden age of YouTube is over and I miss it. But all I can really do is just continue making the videos I want to make and doing it out of passion, not out of profit. You know, I want to make stuff that I hope is as much fun as it is to make than it is as fun to watch. So I think that about wraps it up. If you stayed through the whole video, I really appreciate it. I really don't know how the YouTube algorithm is going to react to a channel that has finally uploaded after like 2 years. It's going to be interesting. But if you got it and if you're here, you have my sincere gratitude because, you know, YouTube has been a big part of my life. I've had a channel on YouTube since like 2009 or something like that. It was crazy because so much has changed over time. So much has changed since I've been gone, you know? But it was good to just talk with you guys face to face. I hope the virus hasn't gotten to you or anybody you know. I don't know a single person who has gotten coronavirus. I'm not going to give my opinions on that. That's not why you're here. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyway, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Eurobeat is doing well at the moment. It's not dead. You just got to get through this. And I hope that what I provide in the future is of value and is entertaining in one way or another. At the end of the day, I don't do YouTube for money. YouTube has been a big part of my life for years. And the fact that people want to sit down and hear what I have to say about anything is just the best thing in the world. You know, it's about broadcasting yourself, right, guys? It's not Google Tube, not us Tube, you Tube. It's about you and me and other good people. Is that kitty still around? Oh, yeah, there he is. Top of the steps, sleeping. Really bad lighting. Whatever. What do you expect? 2 a.m. Okay, good night. Good night, Miata.